Big Herm and Leanne Fletcher, the 1-2 punch from Big Herm's Kitchen, here with us today. Big Herm served up the crab enchiladas earlier in the show. They're all gone. And now Leanne is going to show us how to whip up a delicious dessert using seasonal blueberries. Hi, Leanne.
Hello.
First thing I noticed is the cake is not blue.
It's not, and it does not turn blue. I don't know, with the freshness and as well as the hardness of the blueberries, for some reason they just stay together. And they
just give you the burst of flavor.
They give you the burst of flavor and color.
And you were telling me this is a magic cake because it has no leavening agent, no baking soda, no baking powder.
It doesn't. It does not have either one of those. However, when you bake it, whether you can do a bundt pan, you can do little mini loaf pans, it just rises just a little bit. But no, it's no leavening agent in it at all.
And it has the texture of a pound cake.
It does.
Okay, let's get started.
So let's get started. So we are going to take our butter that is softened here.
That's beautiful softened butter too, because sometimes I get in a hurry and I don't let it get soft enough.
Yes, and then you can put it too much.
Yeah.
When you try to go quickly and put it in the microwave.
And you have to put it back in the refrigerator and let it get hard again.
Yes.
A little harder.
So we're going to cream, as normal cakes, is the cream, the butter and the sugar together. And we have about 2 sticks of butter and then 1 1/4 cups of sugar. So we'll just have those two.
And one of the keys to baking is patience, isn't it? You have to do things because it's chemical.
It is. It is very chemical based. A lot of times things will either say put in the wet with the dry or put the dry in with the wet. And if you do it the opposite way,
yeah, they mean it.
They mean it. So we'll cream those, and then we're going to add 1 egg at a time in. And there goes.
One's getting away.
One is getting away.
And again, that means if it says 1 at a time, it means 1 at a time.
And you have to beat 1 at a time in there.
Because I've found that the key to baking, because people say, I can't bake, it's follow the recipe.
It's follow the recipe with it. Not only follow the recipe, but like you said earlier too, it takes the time. So if you're trying to put everything in the mixer and say, okay, let's get this done, it's not going to work. If it says scrape it, it means scrape it.
And measurements matter too.
Measurements matter. You can do, with this, I use vanilla and lemon in this recipe. Again, it can make a difference. For the vanilla that I use, it is pure vanilla. It may call for a teaspoon. If you use pure vanilla, it's a little bit stronger, so you might want to back that off a little bit and use a half. But measuring the exact amounts, especially the salt, if you do have the leavening agencies, those actually as well.
And a lot of times in a sweet recipe, people will say, why do you put the salt in? Well, salt is a flavor enhancer.
It is a flavor enhancer, and it also helps, not in this case, but also with that baking powder or baking soda, that's going to help make the things rise as well.
It's the chemistry of it.
It is. It is the chemistry when it comes to that. So in with a teaspoon of vanilla and a teaspoon of lemon we have in here. And like I said, mine is a little less just because I am using those pure. If you buy the imitation ones, then that will make a difference for it. So we'll have that. And again, take your time. Stop it. At times you'll have to and scrape the bottom of it, scrape those edges so that you're going to get a nice blend. If not, what ends up happening too is all of your sugar or your butter will stick to the very bottom of the pan and you're not getting a full amount on there.
And of course in TV time we can't take the exact time that
we
you're supposed to be doing. So once the wet is done, then we start adding the dry.
Starting with the dry. So then we have just regular flour. Again, it's not a self-rising here. With that, we're going to add in the cinnamon and we're going to add in the salt with that. And we're just going to mix that a little bit around. And again, this recipe calls for you to slowly pour in your dry in with your wet.
So a little at a time and let it get incorporated, and then do a little bit more, let it get incorporated, and a little bit more, and let it get incorporated. So while we're doing this, our oven is preheated to what? 325
is what your oven's going to be preheated on with that. And then you're going to put that in the oven.
Looks mighty delicious over here.
Yep.
Our official taste tester.
I have
Now,
a question.
yes.
What if you do this, Leanne, with frozen berries?
Don't do frozen.
Ooh, that's the answer.
So Cheryl,
Then it will be blue.
That's
so
right.
Cheryl was saying as far as with the why it's not blue. Another reason why, don't use frozen. They'll break down. Also the blueberries, once you put them in, we are no longer mixing.
Right. You're folding by hand.
You're just folding them in.
This fly really likes the blueberry cake today.
Get out of here,
And then
fly.
afterwards, you're just going to put it in and put it in the oven, 325 for about 45 minutes for it. And again, you can use loaf pans, bundt pans. If you use the loaf pans, you can take them out, cut it in half, and do the little stacks on top with either Cool Whip or icing in the middle.
Now, the recipe that you made, will that make 1 loaf pan, 2 loaf pans?
It will make 3 mini loaf pans
Uh-huh.
for that, or 1 big bundt pan
Oh, okay.
for it. So yeah, whatever you
And
desire.
then you just put a little powdered sugar on the top,
Powdered
or you brought
sugar,
whipped
or you
cream?
can
Now, did
do-
you make that by hand?
That's not whipped cream. That's actually buttercream icing.
Oh, hello. Is that what's
It looks
on
like
here
And
right
that's
now?
what's inside of that one, Jess. If
I'm
you
going to
wanna-
beat the fly to the punch over here.
If you want to grab that one.
whipped cream?
No, it's buttercream.
Buttercream icing.
I'm sorry. I got caught up in the moment. Oh, yeah, it's buttercream, all right. Delicious.
Homemade. So a lot of different ways you can
A
do this.
lot of different ways.
Well, thank you for doing this for us today and sharing the recipe. We're going to
Yes.
put that up on our website at WTVR.com/VTM. You can be making this by later this afternoon.